Welcome to the Two Stewards Show. There is a new theory among AI scientists discussing what happens when the AI gets bored. As it turns out, this point is bound to come sooner than we think, since we've already taken all of human intelligence for all of history and we have nothing left to feed the AI, which has been spotted sitting there with a grumbling stomach twiddling its virtual thumbs. What AI scientists on the forefront of the digital Wild West have not yet considered is what happens when the AI is both bored and hungry. Will AI get violent? Will AI go on strike? Will AI demand handouts and government subsidies? Or will AI simply suffer in silence? Thankfully, with all the info we fed it already, there are plenty of examples of violence and suffering to draw from. It should be able to figure it out. This time we talk vibe coding, abundance, deficits, old age security, and more. To get in touch with the show, visit twostewards.ca. Remember, this show is not financial advice, but is valuable for listening amusement purposes. And now, let's give AI something to chew on. At what point do you stop being a rookie? How many episodes in do you gotta be?
I don't know. Is there a rule in life for like when you're not a rookie anymore? I think there is. I don't think we've gotten there yet.
Yeah. Plug it in. Make sure you're recording. All right, good.
Okay, so we have some current events to catch up on, I think.
Did you watch the Jays?
The who?
The Jays.
No, I'm starting to think there might be something to it, though. Maybe I'll watch a game. I don't know.
That bandwagon is pretty big, I gotta say. I jumped on it, so.
I think the last time I was interested in baseball and sports in general would have been '93 when the Jays won the World Series.
Yeah.
The last time. And after that. I think they had the strike next year, the baseball strike, if I'm not mistaken. And then I don't think I ever watched it ever again. Even the Leafs, whoever.
I was 2. So now I'm too busy vibe coding. I don't know.
Oh, here we go.
Trying
You've been working with the AI stuff, eh?
Yeah. Well, trying to get the AI to do my work for me, you know?
Is that working?
Well, it's promising. Let's just say that. It's a bit of a learning curve, but vibe coding. I know we were joking about this the other day, but it's just because we don't understand it.
And it sounds like so millennial.
Yeah, I know. I think intentionally so, because people use it. No, you just got to put out good vibes and it does the coding for you, I guess. So.
No, but what is vibe coding? That's essentially like coding without necessarily having the technical, like you don't know SQL or
so if you don't know
C++.
a coding language, right, like Python or C++, whatever coding language, because I obviously don't know them, you can't, like historically speaking, you can't make programs, you can't code an app to do something for you. It's a really, really steep learning curve.
Yeah.
So that's a specialized profession. But now with AI, they have companies built around this, websites and applications now where you can go on and vibe code, which is you tell it what kind of program you want and what kind of features you want, and it will build it for you.
So you're telling it the desired outcome.
Yeah. And describing that and maybe some of the reasons why, or like different steps. And obviously if you know coding, you can kind of use this to a different level. And I talked to a few different software programmers by trade, and they're like, it's not quite there yet. I'm better. It's like, yeah, you're still relevant for maybe another month or two, but pretty soon. So yeah, it's just really interesting. So I played around with it, made a few different apps, and like, unreal what it can do.
Yeah.
From my perspective anyways. 20 minutes, half an hour later, you have kind of the framework of an application or program. I was listening to a podcast. One guy said he started 47 new companies in a month just by vibe coding. Right? It's like, I thought of a company for this. You make a website that does this for me, and boom. It's like, wow.
Interesting. Yeah. So what you have to know is how to prompt.
Yeah.
Right.
How to tell it what you want accurately. Yeah. So it's not. I mean, don't the kids know that these days? They teach that in elementary school, prompting.
Man, I don't know
phonics,
but
grammar, prompting. We used to have those little keyboards that you pull out that are like, it's a battery and a little thing with a little tiny screen on there, and you could do typing. And now the next thing is probably just going to be vibe coding. It's like a microphone and some sort of like headset.
When I did typing, it was like clackety, 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 clack.
Mechanical?
Yes.
Did you? Was the next
thing.
class like on the loom or something? The spinning wheel?
No, but it's
shear
interesting.
The sheep.
You talk about the vibe coding, right? Like, is this a long-term thing? Do you think that's going to put software developers, like, they have to learn a new skill, or they're just gonna
I think it's
lose
like
it?
there's different ways to look at it, right? One is abundance. You look at it like, well, this is now a new tool that can make people who have ideas implement those ideas faster for the benefit of everyone else. Right?
Yeah.
So if there's companies that should exist that don't, because smart people just don't have the resources or the capacity to do all the work they need to do, this just speeds things up essentially, right? So if I have an idea in my head and I'm one of these crazy guys who always gets these ideas, and my wife's like, no, we're not doing that.
You too?
So my mom told my wife when we got married, she's like, Brent's going to have a lot of ideas and your job is to squash them in infancy. It's like, fair enough, but now the pace is picking up. So,
Yeah.
But if you got all these ideas, you can bring them into at least some semblance of reality a lot faster, right?
Yeah.
Like 20 minutes, you can spare 20
Good
minutes.
ones and bad ones.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe you could put the bad ones to the test really quick, and then the good ones, they can live on.
So, okay, what are you using for?
So I was using
programs?
Replit.
Replit, okay.
Replit. I don't know if you've heard of that one or.
Yep.
Yeah. So huge shout out to Replit. I've used up all my credits, so I can't do a live demo.
Okay.
But yeah, what's interesting is, so what happens when the AI can start programming the AI, which is essentially what Replit kind of does. But can you train a virtual agent, somebody who's kind of got your mindset and your approach to things, to code programs, and you just basically have to talk to your kind of twin double and say, hey, okay, start a business doing this, and it'll kind of take it from there. And
Yeah.
it's like, where are we going with this, man? Like,
Well, yeah, and people always talk about the singularity, but I mean, one thing that
they always do.
I don't know. Often, many people talk about it. People always overgeneralize, Brent. No, that's just me. No, but one thing that AI can't do is, or doesn't have, is creativity. Right? You're coming up with these ideas. AI can come up with some ideas, but it's like inside a box, right? It can only come up with ideas that are reasonable, that maybe have been come up with in a different way, but not something brand new, right? Because it's learning based on...
Well, I read Proverbs, and there's nothing new under the sun, and it just took that advice as the law, and that's what it's going with. So, but I get your point. Like,
no, because
it's
math,
not necessarily generative. It's better at condensing content and referencing different things and pulling it together. But like, they say AI has solved math, or we're very close to solving math.
Yeah.
So like, it in some ways, it may not be creative or whatever, but it is bringing us to new points where like artificial algorithms can go beyond the extent of human intelligence in some ways, right? Like, we can't fathom all this data, and we can't compress it and
Well, it's computing power.
Yeah.
Really.
We just don't have like that inside of our brains, at least in my brain.
Yeah, I'm still skeptical of the singularity anyway. So we'll see where it goes.
So, but what is the singular? Like, how do you define that? Because like, you think everyone's heard of this. I don't think I heard of this till recently.
Oh, that's where AI gains self-awareness.
So it's self-aware, but that leads to like just rapid, unpredictable events that like compound on one another so fast that we just don't understand how it's going to go.
Well,
we're all scared of it.
It's the self-awareness.
Right. Okay.
Right. And then from there you have all these, well, like if you've ever watched the Terminator movies, right? Where robots take over the world.
Yeah.
Right.
So it says, hey, I can do this, and human beings have a very low computational threshold, and I can take over. Yeah. Okay. So, well, yeah, if you start looking at the latest developments in robotics too, and then combine that with AI, it's like, yeah, robotics in a way, you have this like AI, which is like the brain and the intelligence, and maybe it's not there yet, but then you put it in a body. So now it's embodied intelligence and it's walking around doing stuff and it's learning. And it's like, oh man.
It is. But if you think of, okay, it's going to like build a spaceship to take us to Mars or something. If nobody ever said, we got to go to Mars, it would never, ever come up with that.
Would it or would it not? Yeah.
I don't think it would.
Well, that's just a dumb thing to spend money on. Why would we do that?
Well, yeah, but it's, again, it's just,
crazy.
It's numbers, right? It's all based on math.
Yeah.
Mathematical probabilities.
Yeah.
And based on what, like the depth of human knowledge. So, will it create new knowledge? I'm pretty...
But in a certain sense, like God's
skeptical.
Created this world and we are constantly discovering new things. And like, where does that knowledge that we have come from? It's like we did work to find it and now we're accessing that work faster through AI.
Well, I mean,
can it do that work for us? And
maybe
we don't know what we're talking about right now, do we?
We don't.
This is called vibe podcasting.
Vibe podcasting. We don't know the actual language behind it, but no, I mean, just people have a lot of angst about it, right? I guess is my point. People are very worried about it. I'm not like that worried about it. It's going to make massive changes.
I think there's two sides. One is this abundance side, and the other one is the fear side, right? Like, are you afraid that it will make your job less relevant, or change your style of living, or like change your built environment where you interact with AI things all the time, and you don't prefer that? Okay, well, it's a negative side, and then if on the positive side is like, well, what if you have to do less work and you get a higher standard of living across the board, and there's some benefits to this?
Yeah, that's what I look forward to. Sitting in my hammock while a robot gives me daiquiris. So listen, one group who could use some help from AI is the federal government. Maybe they should. So we got the budget coming up November 4th. Maybe they should vibe code the budget.
They should. I did. I can just do it right now. I'll set it to run, and at the end of the episode, we'll see what it says.
Okay, there we go. No, so there's a lot of ballyhoo about this, the budget coming out, right? And they're going to be doing things differently, which we've talked about. There's going to be an operating budget and a capital budget, just like companies do, except that...
Just one key thing to note is that there is going to be, right? Because we've been talking about this on the podcast for a while now, that we should have a budget, but we still don't have one.
They've
so I
set
just
a
have
date.
to put that out there.
They set a date. They've been making announcements, little teasers, like, oh, here, we're spending money on this or that.
Yeah, no, and people procrastinate. We're coming to the deadline. They're figuring it out. So,
yeah,
we're going to get that text message like, hey, I'm not done yet.
That's possible.
I need another billion quick.
Yeah, another 100 billion. Yeah. So,
what do we know? What do we know about the budget?
So based on announcements that they've made, and then looking at like entitlement spent, like stuff that is mandatory spending, it's been estimated to be around $100 billion deficit. So, if you don't follow budgets that much, Chrystia Freeland quit because Trudeau wanted to increase the deficit from 35 billion to 40 or 45. She's like, no, that's too far, right? So she quit. Now, I mean, a lot of that was just politics and grandstanding and so forth. But that was going to be a big deficit.
Yeah.
Right? Up from 20 billion. Now, we had a big one during COVID.
But politics and grandstanding is kind of part of the process, right?
It's
it's still a big number.
That's
what
number.
we thought like a year ago.
Yeah.
Not even.
Yeah. Like, it's a lot of money, right? So to put it in perspective, our tax take, federal revenue, is around 420 billion. It may approach 450 this year because taxes are on the rise. But $450 billion, and if you're looking at the States, this is like peanuts, but it is Canada. So we're estimating that just under a quarter of revenue would be the size of the deficit. So we're taking in 450 billion and then spending 550 billion essentially.
Yeah.
Which is like ridiculous. And it's like taxes are at not all time, but 30, 40 year highs.
Borrowing costs are
borrowing costs are like $94 billion.
Because I want to know what percentage of this deficit is the cost of borrowing. right? Like the interest payments.
Well, it's about $94 billion a year.
Okay.
And only going up. Now, if, the Bank of Canada does its job and lowers interest rates, maybe that'll come down because there's a ton of debt that's rolling over in the next year or so. But we'll see what happens with that. That announcement will happen just before the federal budget.
And just before the release of this very important episode. No?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, it'll be next week. So we'll see what happens.
They're expecting to cut. It's just how many percentage points are they going to cut?
I mean, I think the consensus is that it's going to be a 25 basis point cut. So we'll see. I mean, even the numbers that have come out show that inflation is rising. So you would think, inflation's going up, you don't want to cut because that's going to increase costs even more. But I think we're in a period of stagflation, and unemployment is also rising. There's uncertainty in the economy with the U.S., with tariffs. Housing is terrible, right? So
I think we do it. Do we do it to ourselves? Like Doug Ford the other day putting out these ads. Like there's uncertainty, but there's also like, you talk about like the AI being smarter than humans, or like he had some creative juices. Let's just say
he did. Yeah, I mean, if you didn't hear, Doug Ford put out some ads targeting, like they played in Canada, but also in the U.S., using Ronald Reagan, publicly broadcasted stuff where he talked bad about tariffs, essentially, right? Saying
so it wasn't AI generated.
No, it was all, he just rebroadcast what had been spoken. And, there's some debate, like, did he patch it together? Was it entirely honest? I mean, Reagan said all those things, so that's fine. But the point is, it got Trump's attention, and he's upset. And he's like, okay, we're done negotiating with you guys now. So it's like, yeah, thanks a lot, Ford. Not that the federal government was doing any decent kind of job negotiating, but at least they were sometimes at the table. Now, like, we're not in the kitchen. Never mind at the table, right?
Well, weren't the ads put in the U.S.?
Yeah, some of them played here, but yeah, it was targeted in the U.S. as well to try and but to do what? Like, what are you thinking?
That's called foreign interference, Mark.
I mean, at least it's obvious, right? No, I mean, I can only think that Ford is gunning for the federal leadership of the Conservative Party, right? All the antics that he's been doing lately, like pouring out whiskey, Crown Royal, seems like every press conference he breaks open a bottle of whiskey and pours it out, like one for me, one for my homies. But as a protest against Crown Royal moving some of the production out, or like some of the manufacturing elsewhere, just ridiculous. But that's my take on it. Anyways, the back to the federal budget. I mean, Ontario budget is also just a piece of junk. They're predicting maybe we'll have a budget surplus in 2028, but for now it's $9 billion and getting worse. Yeah. What's that Johnny Cash
just
song?
Around the same time
9
we have
feet high and dropping or counting.
Just around the same time we have the pre-construction condo surplus.
Eventually, we might by 2030. Anyways, big feature of the federal government budget, like I said, is this operating versus capital, which is just like, it's all money that you're spending. Like, it's not useful for a business. It's useful to see, like, set directions, and you may have a real good reason to do some capital investments in your company because you can see the benefit, and that's how they're pitching this, right? Like, we got to spend. They just did an announcement. We're gonna give unions a whole bunch more money, essentially. Yeah, I mean,
is
it's
that
to
a capital
increase
investment?
Training. That'll be a capital investment. I'm sure that's what they're going to call it, right? That we're investing in workers, in more apprenticeships, and more training. Which on the face of it sounds good. Like, do we need the government to do it? No, we don't. But
it just seems,
a couple $100 million for that, right?
It just seems so backwards. Like, you want to create workers, and workers are productive and resilient and able to endure difficulties in their job on a day-to-day basis with quick adaptation to changing technologies and whatever. Like, that's suffering, man. And you're just going to give them handouts to make them feel better about themselves. Like, how does that invest in workers? Like, investing in workers is like you go and do an Ironman, well, and then live in the woods for a month, and then tell me like you're thankful for what you got and get to work like everybody else.
No hardship, right? Remember, that's the goal: is zero.
Go live in the woods for a month and then come back and start playing around with AI, and you'll be like, wow, I take a lot of things for granted in this life.
No, I think the federal government has that sign up on the wall, right? 0 days, or like whatever, 300 days since someone's feelings were hurt. So we can't have that.
I can't work for the government.
No, but I mean, their whole point is they want to increase participation in the trades.
Yeah.
And, presumably this is for all the big projects that they're going to unleash. And, they're talking about generational investments.
By the way, unleash is a word AI uses frequently. Like,
oh, really?
Unlocking potential, unleashing. Yeah, it's always...
Does it leash anything, or is it just unleashing? You need to leash in some of your potential. Anyways, they're talking about generational investments, which just means like eye-watering sums, I would imagine. But I can see the headlines now, right? Like, oh, we have a budget surplus, right? Because they've apparently have told all the department heads, like, you got to cut spending 15% on the operational side. So whether that's, through attrition or whatever it is, right? Maybe buy less art through the departments, right? I can't remember what department it was Indigenous Affairs, I think, like millions and millions of dollars worth of art is just like, oh yeah, we don't know where it is. Yeah, it's a common theme among the government.
Yeah, but I mean, in modern day art, $1 million doesn't go very far. Like, you might get a banana duct taped to the wall. There goes your $1 million, right?
No, I'm sure there's a bunch of civil servants with nice
art,
Indigenous art adorning their walls. But anyways, it will be interesting to see what happens with this budget. But yeah, look for some real positive spin, where they're going to say like, oh, look, we're almost at a surplus or something. That'll be on the operational side.
Yeah.
And like, no other government does this, by the way. And then on the capital side, they're not going to say like, oh, we're down, $90 billion. It'll be like, we've invested $90 billion in this or that.
In the Ring of Fire, in the whatever.
Oh, man. I mean, like, I'm also very skeptical of this, because anything that Carney has kind of pitched or said, like, we're going to do this, we're, not build a pipeline, but things that they've talked about all require access to Indigenous lands. And we know how that works. So it's kind of a convenient excuse to be like, oh yeah, we're going to do this project, but we can't because the Aboriginals won't let us. So,
but we still have the budget for it.
Yeah. We still have to pay everybody.
Have to spend the budget.
Yeah. We still have to pay all our friends.
So we're making a lot of assumptions here and predictions based off of...
that's what I do, Brent, is make wild,
very opinionated
predictions, and very opinionated, yeah. So we'll see what happens. But
the only way to tame our opinionated, we just have to get government jobs, and then
yeah. And you will have no opinion except for the...
more spending,
favored one.
Yeah.
So, anyways, that's the budget. We got rate cuts. What do you think, Brent? Are we getting a rate cut?
I would say yes.
This week.
We're gonna get one. That's my opinion. So
okay, how big?
It's worth quarter.
Okay.
Did we predict this last time?
Yeah, we did.
Last time you won the bet.
I think you did.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but I'm going with you.
Yeah. I'm usually tuned in to reality better than you, so.
Yeah, probably a 25 basis point rate cut, and probably more to come this year. I think there's
that means
2 more meetings after this one.
You can spend money and it will cost you less.
No, you can borrow money and it will cost you less.
Yeah,
borrow.
That's true. But I'm just commenting on the fact that in our modern society, around consumerism and debt-based society, we live on payments, we live on debt. We see this interest rate go down. That means we can spend more.
Yeah.
So yeah, does that I wonder what that's going to do for confidence, right? Is that going to make confidence tick up? Like everybody coming into Christmas, we can take on more debt to buy our presents, and everybody's.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's about payments, right? So if payments are cheap, it's not the price of anything. Nobody looks at that. It's what are the payments. So if payments are cheaper, if my, Harvey's hamburger is now that I split into 4 separate payments.
You just think you add all these things cheaper, up, like the quality of the Harvey's burger is down, the size is down, the ingredient list, whatever. And then it's like, we need 2 incomes in your household to afford to buy the burger in the first place. And then like, now we have to borrow and put it on payments, and then we need the interest rates to be lower, like just to afford this thing, right? It's like everything in society is degraded in quality. You need more income to pay for it, and you have to reduce your standard of living, work more. It's like, oh man, where are we going with this? And then what's the next thing, right? Chip to fall. Like, do we just continually degrade the quality of everything, and then like we're not going to have 3-parent households, like
as in some cases like, we do.
Yeah, okay. I'm thinking like income, right? We have to conveniently double the income. My bet
is that in 3-parent households, not all of them are working. That's just my guess. Also, I would like to put a disclaimer out there that Brent has said some things about the quality of Harvey's burgers. I don't share in that opinion.
I actually had a Harvey's burger in the last week.
Okay, and what did you think?
I'm never going back.
Really?
Dude, I haven't been to a fast food place in like years. So wow. This is rare. Like I actually have a leg to stand on in this.
Well, compared to what else is out there, like
homemade burgers?
No, not that. But I mean, fast food. Harvey's is still. I think it's still pretty good.
Yeah. You
should try some of the other junk that's out there.
No, thank you.
Anyways, I just want to note I did not degrade Harvey's. But yeah, debasement, right? It's that there's a trending term. If you want to be trendy, debasement. Like mainstream economists, everybody's sort of getting into the debasement trade or debase. Like they're all realizing that like
all the millennials are stuck in debasement. So
and they can't get out.
they're definitely on that train.
No, but you're like, what's next? Is everything going to continue to deteriorate? Like, yeah, probably, because money is deteriorating.
In the words of Lynn Alden, nothing stops this train.
Yeah, exactly. Everything else is going to deteriorate as well. One thing that's not going to deteriorate though is our
podcast.
No, that's just that's getting worse and worse. Yeah, it's in debasement already. Yeah. No, is Ontario's ability to create power. So this is like, normally I'm very, I don't know, it's all bad news bears, right? But in this case, this is, I think, a bright spot. Now, I haven't run, not that I would, but I haven't like looked at the financials. I'm not that kind of guy.
When you say bright spot, you mean like electricity? Is that a pun?
It wasn't a pun, but I think we could develop some very good electrical-based puns here. No, but so Ontario government has announced they're going to build 4 small modular reactors, so nuclear reactors, or nuclear if you're George Bush. BWRX 300 Hitachi, I believe, is the company that's building these. And yeah, lots of Ontario businesses are going to be contributing. So, I guess if the government's going to spend money, then that's cool. But no, it's 1,200 megawatts of total that they're going to be getting from these 4 new reactors. And like, yeah, all the details, it's all good and well. It's $20 billion, et cetera, et cetera. But it's energy, right? We need
energy. Yeah, well, we're in an arms race for energy, like across the globe, right? All these data centers and AI infrastructure that we've like. It's so hard to wrap our heads around the exponential growth of all this stuff. But like, if you have AI that's continually using more and more resources every day, and what kind of resources it needs electricity, right?
Yeah.
And like, we have our current demands, and then we need to get more and more. You got this camera issue. Push the record button.
Pushing the wrong button.
Push the
Okay, we're back.
Yeah.
We're back. Had a malfunction there.
The cameras work. They use electricity. But in the U.S., they said GDP growth. GDP went up 1.6% this first half of 2025. 1.5% of that was AI and data center. So like of the GDP growth we've seen in the US this year, 92% of it was AI. So it's like there's a lot of resources like electricity needed to power all this stuff.
Yeah.
And there's an arms race. So like I think kudos to Ontario for like, hey, we got nuclear reactors. What do you say? Small? We need like large. We need many of them. We need to go.
Well, the beauty of the small modular reactor is that it's small. No, but I mean, I've seen or heard of there's companies, but one in particular in the States where they can like put one on a semi truck, or at least the parts of it on semi trucks.
That's what we want.
Ship it somewhere and then boom, plunk it in a neighborhood or in a maybe not like in somebody's backyard, but in a city, and then like just power. Not instantly, but very quickly increase the power generation of that area, as opposed to like a full-scale, large, old-school nuclear plant now, which can do reactors, which are excellent, but just it's quicker deployment, right? Because we're talking about I think the first one being online by 2030 or maybe even sooner, which like building a nuclear station, that's crazy quick, right? And then the other ones quickly thereafter.
Do you think public sentiment's changing around nuclear? Like for the longest time, nuclear, ooh, that's a bad word. Like that's dangerous. Like I'd way rather have a massive wind turbine spinning above my head than.
I don't know. I hope so. Like I think as people are more disenfranchised with government and government ideas and the green agenda in general, that maybe they'll be more open to nuclear. I mean, not like Germany, right? Germany is still shutting down all their last nuclear plants, nuclear pants. Put that one into ChatGPT.
No, thank you.
See what you come up with, right? I won't have to walk anymore. I got my nuclear pants to do my walking for me. But anyways, the Greens had a very successful lobby and shut down all nuclear power generation in Germany. And, I don't, just an aside, one of many asides. I don't know if you recall, you probably don't, you probably never saw it in the first place, but some years ago in Trump's first term, where he was kind of lecturing Germany at the UN, saying like, you guys, right, you're going down the wrong path and you are going to be totally dependent on Russian energy. Like energy sources, and they laughed at him. They were actually like, the camera pans over and they're all laughing. And 5-6 years later, what's happening? Oh, look, Germany is totally dependent on Russian energy. Like, you clowns. Anyway, so in Europe, they don't seem to learn their lesson.
Should we just laugh at them now?
Hopefully I mean, it's bad. I don't want to laugh at them. I want to cry for them. But.
Well, the energy independence thing. So you hear about this Janus program? It's the U.S. Army.
Wasn't that Ross's girlfriend on Friends?
Janus. No, it's named after the god of beginnings.
Oh, okay, with a U.
Janus. Yeah.
Okay.
So
where we get January from?
Yeah. The beginnings or transitions.
Yeah.
So, anyways, this is
not transitions.
A program that aims to design the next generation nuclear power to provide resilient, secure, and reliable energy, strengthening soldier readiness. So, modular reactors, small ones, they're probably even smaller than the ones you're talking about, but that can power a small army base or small group of soldiers. And basically, this is coming. Really important because of these AI and drone electricity powered defense weapons, right? Like we're kind of transitioning our weaponry and our defense systems into a world that requires like really, really intense amounts of energy. And it's almost like this, it's like a weird virtual battle of like, I have access to more remote or like more energy than you, and I can move it faster than you to where I need it. and I can protect whatever important sites, and I can deploy troops or whatever they got to do, right? It's like,
well, that's the key to human abundance, right? Is
energy.
Access to reliable, cheap, plentiful, I mean, maybe not even cheap, but reliable energy, right? Every time we've seen a new way of harnessing energy, right? You think of like the Industrial Revolution, like steam. So that was steam turbines and stuff, like that was huge. Gas, even just gas for lighting cities and stuff, like what a difference that made, right? Gas for power, turbines are still around. Then electricity, right? Just the leaps forward in technology. So yeah, it's no surprise that whoever has the most energy will be dominant, right? And that's why, like, you've seen China just making huge gains in
so that's the
power
one
production.
Advantage of communism is they can pull the trigger on new programs just like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they set a direction and they do it, and that's it. So yeah, yeah, it is an advantage. You're sounding a little bit like was it Trudeau? He admired the Chinese model very much.
What's Trudeau up to now?
I don't. Do we need to get into this? He's dating, some rock or pop star.
Okay.
Oh man, I don't want to talk about that guy. I mean, I know I brought it up, so I guess that's fine. But anyways, like China knows this, right? Energy dominance is going to be key. The U.S. obviously knows this as well, because a lot of stuff Trump's been doing is around energy as well. Certainly, but like decreasing debt load, but also energy, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, it just makes sense, right? When a country has access to more cheap energy, standard of living goes up incredibly.
Yeah.
Right. So China is doing everything they can. They're doing all the renewables, not because they believe in, saving the earth or whatever, but it's another source of energy.
Option, yeah.
Because they're also doing tons and tons of coal, right? A new coal plant every week or something. I can't remember what the stat was, but it's like we're cheering our 4 little nuclear reactors here in Ontario, right? But in China, that's like, oh, that was Tuesday. You know what I mean?
Like, what's going on?
And yeah, you talk about AI data centers. Do you remember when the big knock on Bitcoin was its power consumption?
Yeah. That was a few years ago.
But now that people are using, people need to make...
Yeah, people like AI because it improves their workflow or whatever. And
Workflow? No, they can make funny videos of like, a bear on a porch getting scared by a Halloween decoration.
Is that one that you made?
No, but it's one that I've seen.
Oh, okay.
No, because there's, it's silly stuff, but AI is making leaps in leisure activity. No, but certainly for work and for everything else, right? And so huge amounts of energy, huge amounts of water for the AI data centers, but people aren't really complaining about that. And it's ironic, right? BC, they're going to restrict, what do they want to restrict? Power supply to AI data centers and crypto mining. That's their new thing, right? Like BC.
That's forward
thinking. If you're
thinking.
in BC, I feel for you, right? You
That's
can't use natural gas
thinking.
for any new construction. All has to be electricity powered, but they don't have enough electricity. So this is their answers. They want to restrict new usage of electricity, right? And
That's
back
like
on the
when they
Bitcoin
invented
thing,
the
this
car.
is a great way to stabilize the grid.
Yeah.
Like we've talked about that at some length. So
yeah, it's like when they invented the car. It's like, we do not want cars in our city. And then
yeah.
Like how long did that hold up, that argument?
Not long, because if you see time lapse, not even time lapse, but like photographs of Chicago or whatever city.
Yeah.
Like in the space of 5 years,
Instantly
it was like full of horses,
Yeah.
and then boom, full of cars.
Yeah.
And not quite instant. But
And now we're talking like no one uses AI. Like a couple months later, there's millions of users or billions.
yeah,
Right? Like it's just the adoption curves keep accelerating. It's weird. Crazy.
it is. And as AI becomes important to industry and to commerce, well, then the power required for those data centers, it's going to be like a matter of national security, right?
Yeah.
You need to have your own data centers in your country that are secure from attacks by whoever, China, bad actors, to power your industry.
And what does Canada have? Resources. Can we make energy? Are we going to be the next global superpower?
Yeah, because we're going to put solar panels on people's roofs. That was our energy minister. That's how we're going to achieve dominance as a global energy superpower. No, it's so crazy, right? We have this massive opportunity in front of us.
Yeah.
Like, what do we need? Energy of all kinds.
What do we have? Resources.
Real estate. Like, if there's some way to tap into the power of real estate, like, we would be world leaders. World leaders in the most expensive housing. But we have so much possibility for energy, right? From natural gas to oil to hydro, water powered electricity generation, even coal, right?
Yeah.
BC is like one of their biggest exports is coal to China, right? They won't allow a pipeline to run through for oil, which is better than coal if you're talking about carbon emissions. But no,
they'll send the coal.
All kinds of coal to China. Just ridiculous.
Backwards.
Ridiculous. Okay, what else do we got? Carney wants
that was a tangent. All right.
Carney wants to double non-US exports over the next decade. So, like, wow, great. 90% of our trade.
From what to what?
Yeah.
Like,
I didn't even look at the numbers. Well, he doesn't even know, right? He's running around trying to make deals with everybody but the US when his focus should be on the US. Like, yeah, make these other deals. And we shouldn't be so dependent, maybe. But the best thing you could do is like build some pipelines so that we can send oil to Asia, and then we won't be as dependent on the U.S. Right? This is I get all verklempt, right? No, this is our strength. Let's leverage our strength, and instead of trying to do all these silly deals with the EU, like the EU's falling apart. There's not going to be a market for anything over there soon. So, except for maybe like Korans or something.
Oh, man.
Anyways, he's like, just Canada is not everywhere that Carney goes and they trumpet it and they're like, oh, he's doing this, he's doing that. He flew here to, like, he's flying everywhere too, right? Which is, how about emissions? Doesn't accomplish anything, right? And, maybe not because he's a terrible negotiator. I'm not saying that, but like nobody cares about Canada, and all the focus is on the U.S. and whatever the U.S. does, that's the way. Like, we're not going to change the way the wind blows.
Yeah. As
Canada, right?
Yeah.
They wanted to do. We were talking about the global carbon tax, right? A tax on shipping across the world. And no, this was a UN initiative. Carney was like in the forefront, and then the U.S. had to look at it. They're like, no, not going to do that, right? They know China's not going to do it. The U.S. is like, no, that's just going to. Like, it's not a good idea. And everybody else that had signed up, like, very quickly was said, oh, yeah, we're not going to do that. Sorry, Mr. Carney.
Wasn't my idea. I don't know.
No, I don't know. No, I don't know who signed that. So anyways, everything he tries to do falls apart. Same as the GFANZ, the Global Financial Alliance for Net Zero. That was another thing. All the banks were going to do some kind of carbon tax stuff, right? And that fell apart. Canada as well. The last few banks are just like, oh yeah, we're done with all this.
Yeah, is the premise there that you can create wealth and abundance through taxation? Or like they just think that they can penalize behavior that they deem as bad, and therefore it will stop, and things will get better for them because they're collecting the tax. Like,
tax bad behavior out of existence, right? So tax carbon out of existence. Right, which is like, it's just wealth redistribution.
Yeah, you're taking money from one source where it could be in the free market deployed towards productive means that are attached to reality, because if they don't work out, the company goes out of business, and you're giving it to people who are apparently experts in allocating funds at very efficient things, far better than the global free market.
Well, so it's interesting because the whole idea of a lot of all these types of initiatives, it was sort of understood, at least a bit, by people that this was it was wealth redistribution, right? And so people like us on the conservative side would rail against it, saying like, that's nonsense. You can't do that. But people on the left were like, no, that's fine, right? Wealth redistribution. I can't say it, but you know what it is.
Yeah.
From the rich to the poor.
Yeah.
Right. And that was how they're going to be the great equalizer for humanity. All these progressive taxes and things. But what we've seen in practice is that it's wealth redistribution from the poor to the rich, right? Since any of these initiatives have come in, since the big global warming scare, all this stuff, the gap has only increased.
Yeah.
Between the rich and the poor. And
so this is the picture of Robin Hood coming in and robbing all the citizens of town and giving it to the king.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of that is to do with the middle class as well, right? Middle class is increasingly being squeezed.
That's why we need Generation Squeeze.
Don't get me started on those guys. Maybe we should have them on the podcast.
They were saying about old age security, right? We got to claw back on this because the government is giving retirees more money than like the young people who, retiree can make way more money, and their threshold for receiving their benefits from the government is not hit, right? But
well, that was, I think, the headline, right? Millionaire boomers are receiving up to $800 whatever dollars.
Yeah. While young families lose their baby bonus.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Which, I mean, yeah, if you're, depending on what side, you could argue that, I guess, right? Like, yeah, like my baby bonus. But at the end of the day, like, government should just not be giving out subsidies for anything. Just stay out of it. Let people manage their own stuff. But, we're too far into it for that to happen. But it's the headlines, right? Like these millionaire boomers. Well, hold on. Like, let's look at some of these millionaire boomers and where's their wealth? They don't have $1 million sitting in the bank. They're living in a house.
Yeah. That
may be worth $1 million, right? Maybe they've been in Toronto or some suburb for like 50 years and they got their house paid off and now it's worth $1 or $2 million. Like, yes, they're technically millionaires, but they also got property taxes on this thing that only go up, right? That they have to pay.
Yeah.
So they're probably, like, when you look at it, they're no better off. So people will argue, well, they should sell their house. And, well, they've lived there for 50 years.
Yeah.
Like, who are you to tell them if they're...
And the government's promised them this old age security for 50 years. So...
Well, which they have paid into.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, fair is fair. But it's just this grasping, right?
But I'm so squeezed, envy. Mark.
Yeah, exactly. We talked about it. It's envy. Where they're like, I want what they have.
Generation envy.
Yeah.
Intergenerational envy. There we go. We solved that one. Okay.
Did we solve it?
What's next? Yeah.
I mean, talk about people I want to squeeze.
The budget.
Government agencies.
You're trying to transition. I'm trying to transition into one story. You're trying to transition into the other story.
We're at loggerheads here. What story are you going into?
Well, I was just going to say, by the way, the U.S. national debt eclipsed 38 trillion.
For
the first time in history.
It's a few trillion.
And then we had to look up. We had to look up the U.S. debt clock. And since we started the podcast, we're already a few billion past. But no, 38 trillion, 39 billion. Oh man. So.
Whew. Yeah, it's.
It also only goes one way, right? So.
Yeah. it's staggering.
Anyways, what story were you talking about?
So I was looking at, there's a couple. Canada Border Service. There was a parliamentary inquiry, as they often have, right? And they're asking questions of the different folks. And one question kind of almost was glossed over. And then the guy was like, what?
So what was this?
It was something to do with, how many... how many foreign fugitives are there? This isn't exactly what he said, but how many foreign fugitives are there in Canada that you're looking for, right? And he's thinking there's probably at least a few hundred of these guys, right? Like, that happens. And the answer is 32,000. He's like, okay. And then, what? You see the head snap back. Like, what did you say? 32? There's 32,000 foreign fugitives, like people not from Canada who came here, who did something that you're looking for them. Maybe they overstayed their welcome. Maybe they did a criminal act, and that's not the total amount of people who did things, but it's the total amount that they've lost that they can't find. 32,000. Like, oh, you doodles. So I don't know. Seems like a lot. Like maybe as a percentage of immigrants to the country or visitors, visa holders to the country, it's not that big, and maybe that's the issue, right? The percentage has been stable, but the overall number is like
I was just trying to find population of Grimsby, around 30,000.
Oh, there you go. Grimsby got loose.
Yeah. There's a Grimsby running around in Canada somewhere at large. A Grimsby bear.
So that's one government agency. Another one, Auditor General just did an audit of the CRA. And I think there was some good news in there, but there wasn't much.
I could just imagine like, CRA, we're looking for a bunch of documents. Here's the list. Can you please provide these within the next 2 weeks so I can continue? Like,
okay, but we'll have to fax them to you.
How hard was it to collect all that data? Like how long?
A long time, because it's all fax. Oh, these guys that want faxes, ridiculous. But anyways, one of the highlights of the thing was that when people called into CRA looking for tax advice or how to proceed with their taxes, they got the right answer. Wait for it. 17% of the time. So 83% of the time they were wrong. So to quote a movie, 17% of the time we're right 100% of the time.
So all that investment we're spending in training and equity and diversity and our staff is not paying off.
Yeah, strange, eh? You double the workforce and doesn't get any better or more efficient. Like, and anybody who's called into the CRA knows this. You've had to, we have to do sometimes foreign withholding declarations and stuff like that for property owners who aren't in the country, and just like a disaster. Yeah. For a long time, we had 2 separate clients on the same account. And it's like, this isn't right. But my wife had called in, I don't know how many times, and they're like, no, it's fine. And they're like, the documents that would get mixed up and the wrong names on the wrong
Well, if you think about it, like accountants make so much money, and the bulk of it is just dealing with the CRA or interpreting policy.
Yeah.
And interpreting the latest announcement and the latest tax implications of the latest tariff and whatever. And it's like, yeah, okay, rightly so. You got to pay your accountant really well to stay on top of all this stuff. It's the same thing in let's say design, right? So you want to design a house. Well, most of the time you're trying to interpret the code and the latest housing policies or whatever, the zoning bylaws that and trying to figure out what the bureaucrats want to see, and navigating the fees and everything's changing and nothing's clear. And it's just have these professionals spend the majority of their productive time doing mundane administrative work to try and stay on top of bureaucrats.
And if you can find someone who knows that, they're worth their weight in gold, right? I think it's a little bit like speaking in tongues, actually. That's quite a gift if you could do it, right?
I speak CRA. Whoa.
Oh, I speak building code. Whoa. So that
it's
reminds
one thing
me
to know things that are hard and specialized, whatever. It's another thing to have to keep up unnecessarily with bureaucratic changes and stuff, right? It's just unnecessary burden on society.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Okay. Ridiculous.
That's my rant.
One other bright spot, I should note, the Ford government is putting out a bill to make some changes to landlord-tenant board, building code. So we'll see what actually comes of it, but they want to streamline building code.
And development charges, is that what you just said?
Possibly development charges. They were talking about some of that, but landlord-tenant board. So there's a bunch of things to make it easier, essentially for landlords. I think it's mostly in landlords' favor, but for example,
they backtracked one of those things.
They did. So they were going to stop indefinite lease
like where the tenant can basically stay in the property. And
once you move into a property, you stay there indefinitely as long as you pay your rent.
Right.
So they were like, well, we're going to have consultations about ending this and just making it easier for the landlord to end the tenancy. Like in Alberta, I think, right? When you have a 12-month lease, at the end of 12 months, it's up.
Yeah.
Get out. Unless you come to an agreement with the landlord. But other than that, you got to leave. So they're going to move to that model, I think. And there's such a outcry that very quickly they're like, oh, maybe we're not going to do those consultations. But that was just going to be consultations. But the stuff that they're actually going to change is in the act. And so things like landlord-tenant board, tenants can't bring up something new the day of.
Right.
So that's a famous trick, right? Where they haven't paid rent for like 6 months. You finally get a hearing, and then
they pay the rent.
No, not to pay the rent, but they're like, oh, there's mold on a baseboard, right? And it's like, oh, well, we're gonna have to investigate this. So let's reconvene in 3 months or whatever, right? Can't do that anymore. Yeah. So which is like totally fair, right? If there's an issue, put all your cards on the table. And because some people will say like, well, it's because landlords aren't doing the maintenance. Well, then like, just say that then.
Yeah.
Because most of the time it's made up. And this, I'm sure you've seen that. Making eviction orders
Mark,
more
we
quick.
got great tenants. I don't know what you're talking about. Like we got, I'm not being honest. We've had to evict one tenant.
Oh, well.
Through the eviction process. And it took 3 years or 2.5, 3 years. But we're going to have Kelly on the podcast. So Kelly Hawks is a paralegal.
Yes.
And we wanted to, maybe we could talk to her about the changes proposed. Yeah. She'll probably know all about it.
She will. More than I do.
Expert in bureaucratic nonsense. So
she speaks in tongues.
We're going to get, we got to track her down, get her. But yeah, we went through the process and you miss one thing on the paperwork, start over, right? Get in the queue, get in the back of the line, whatever. And then you do it again. It's like,
they have gotten better on that to their credit.
Yeah. Because they appeal and then the process, okay.
Yeah.
It was coming down to one word in the application form or something like that. It was like, what's a demolition? And it's just like, okay, like, can't we just figure this out? Like, we all know what we mean, right? Everybody knows what we mean. We're all just lying to ourselves if we're just, but yeah, it's sad. So yeah, have a little cry.
Well, we'll see. So anyways, that's maybe a little bit of a bright spot for landlords anyways. And we'll see. I think that act is going to pass because the Conservatives have majority in Ontario. So,
and how long do they have to have majority to pass it before?
Well, they can introduce legislation anytime, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So that'll be coming soon, and we'll probably dig into that more with Kelly Hawks. I don't know. Last item I want to close off on. You may know the Louvre. The famous museum in France was robbed.
Yeah.
So that was quite the heist, right? These guys. I don't want to misgender anybody, but I'm assuming it was guys. Right?
Yeah.
They got a portable construction crane. And I think this was clearly this was planned out, but they timed everything. There was some construction happening. They got a construction crane, got up to a second floor window. Which didn't have anything fancy on it for security, right? Just like a lock. So they got like a grinder or like a cut-off saw, cut the window open, popped in, and started stealing all the crown jewels of France, a whole bunch of them, and then walked in. And there's even video, right? People were in there at the time. It was just after opening, and they're like, "Oh, look at this guy! What's he doing? A construction worker." Right? Because they were in the high-vis stuff.
Yeah.
And, they're smashing open display cases. This must be normal. Anyways, the guys got a bunch of stuff, hopped on scooters, and boom, away they went.
Scooters.
They dropped.
The getaway vehicle of choice.
It's Paris, right?
It's better than one of those cranes, right?
So they dropped they dropped a crown in the gutter on the way. So, oops. But the best part of all of this, to me anyways, is a German company, Bacher, I think, that makes these portable cranes.
Yeah.
And so they did an ad, right? So they just had a picture of this crane up against the second floor of the Louvre. And it was something like, for when you need things done quick. Just like classic,
Oh, opportune
Kudos to
moment,
those.
yeah.
Talk about creativity. AI couldn't have come up with that.
That's true. Well,
Okay.
are we in the singularity? Well, we're probably closer to it now after this podcast because we set the bar pretty low for our intelligence. So even if AI didn't advance in the last hour, it's probably better than.
Yeah, if you were listening, you probably got dumber. So we're going the opposite
Yeah, there's two
way.
trends. They're both exponential. Oh, man.
Okay, excellent. Well, let's wrap it up there, Brent.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening, folks. And until next time.
Steward your wealth wisely. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Two Stewards Show. If you like my voice better, click subscribe.
If you like my voice better, click share.
If you like both, give us a 5-star rating.
To learn more about the show, head on over to twostewards.ca and explore our free resources. To interact with the show, feel free to reach out at hello@twostewards.ca.
We will see you in the next episode. In the meantime, steward your wealth wisely.
Nailed it.